Hello my scrappy friends, and a big welcome to my channel today. It is the 1st of October and I am here with my Scrap the Boys challenge layout, which is this Halloween October challenge. This is the page that I've created and I've used 2 cut files from Cut to You. As soon as I saw them I was like, yes, I've got to use these. One is from last year, one is from this year. And you can see I have cut those on, that's the photo I'm using. That's my boys from last year at Halloween. And I have cut that on textured white cardstock. I pulled out a couple of supplies there. I wanted to work on some craft cardstock for my background. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do with my background, with my cut file. So I am just adding a quick clear layer of gesso straight over the top. Like I said, I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to do with these. It's part of why I cut them in white. So I'm going to clear gesso straight onto the mat, pop that aside to dry, and then get working on my background. So I've come up with a colour scheme using a Bella Boulevard sticker sheet, which I thought I showed you, but when I edited this video, I didn't see it anyway, so I'm not sure what I've done. But I wanted to add in some gold as well. So this is my it's very, very thick at the moment, Bling Colour Paste by Colour Blast. I think I need to get some more. Yes, I think I need to get some more. These are beautiful when they are, when they're not new, but not thick and groupy. I managed to get enough on for this page and I'm happy with it. I just wanted to add a little bit of texture to my background, and you can see I'm just using a polka dot stencil. I'm going to add that in 3 places. I'm only going to show you 2. So I've got the top right, and then I'm going to do right in the middle here, and I'm just going to cover the whole stencil pretty much. Yes, it is a square shape mostly, but you don't see that in the end. And then I've also gone down to the bottom left. When you saw my cut files, I had the big spider web and then the 2 half spider webs. One I've cut a little bit smaller than the other. The way that I work is I like to, if I'm going to have the top or the bottom heavier, I like to have the bottom feel a bit heavier because it's the bottom and it's not going to like weigh the page down. Maybe that sounds silly, but that's okay. I wasn't sure what mixed media I was going to use, so again I've just drawn inspiration from the sticker sheet that I'm using. I've used some of my black India ink. Then the green that I've splattered there is a Shimmer's original product, and it is Jilted Jade. The orange that I'm using is Orange Sherbet Shimmers. I am going to splatter some gold as well. You can see my little pot there is almost empty. That is Inklings in minor 49er. You can see it is very nearly empty. Luckily I have a spare. Yay me. So I'm just going to add all my splatters and then pop this aside to dry. And I'm going to work on my cut file. Well, my cut files. So I ended up cutting the internal pieces for my title, which is all these boos, on an Alexandra Renke Halloween paper from last year. You will see in a minute it's black and it's got little orange pumpkins on it. So I thought I would go sparkly orange for the cut file. And then I knew I wanted my spiderwebs black. So I'm using my India ink again. This dries, it's not matte and it's not gloss either. I guess semi sheen or something. And I'm just painting that straight over my spiderwebs here. I'm not being particularly careful. I do want to make sure I don't mix the black and the orange together though, because I do want to keep that title orange. You can see here the outline of my cut file, and there is my other one. So I actually really love how this page came together. I had so much fun with it. Yeah, I dug into my stash. I don't have much of a Halloween stash. So I jumped into my scraps box And like I said, I've used my cut files. I've got one sticker sheet, and I'm just using as much as I can. Well, not as much as I can, but lots of the bits. I left this bit in so you could see. I did very carefully peel that out because it's got the gesso and then the ink on top. You do need to be a little bit careful, and you just kind of poke the bits out and then peel it out. That was the internal bits of my cut file. These are the leftovers from my title. So when I painted it, I left all the internal bits in, and then I thought, oh, maybe I can use these as embellishments because they're already painted. I used that pen and I just outline them. And you can see here, like the bones of where my layout is going. I have pulled out, like I said, some scraps. I've used green and orange. Again, I was pulling inspiration from the sticker sheet that I don't think you see at all in this video, which is interesting. So yeah, I've pulled green, some orange. I pulled out those little bags, a black doily. At one point, I do go looking for some cheesecloth, and I can't find any, but I do find some white tulle. This is actually a Christmas pattern paper from a Heidi Swap collection from a number of years ago. I cut that big, and then I changed my mind and I make it smaller. I do muck around with my layers a fair bit. I don't leave all of this footage in because it's really not that exciting. At one point, I actually stapled my title to the back of my cluster and went, oh my goodness, where's my title gone? Yes, very blonde moment that was. As you can see, I'm going for lots of texture. So I'm roughing up the edges with my edge distressing tool. Torn edges. You saw that I crinkled up my doily. I literally screwed it up in my hand and unscrewed it up. Because I want my layers to kind of not be smushed together, I have just used staples. My tool here, you can see I have literally just hacked at it and kind of just mushed it into the corner, and I'm going to do a bit more. I did have a few issues with this because I'm a bit special, but I really like this in the end. It's not super obvious in the photos, which is a bit unfortunate, but I do really like the texture that it lends to the layout. So I'm like, what have I done? I was like, oh my goodness, here we go. That doily is totally in the wrong place. I thought, oh, I wonder if I can cut it out. And then I went, nah, I'm just going to rip it out. So I ripped that side out and I ended up tucking that into the layers there, and it almost completely gets covered up, but it's just for a little bit of extra texture, dimension, interest. It's not there for like a particular reason. Cutting some bits to go with the spider webs at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to go with the green pattern paper, the black pattern paper, some of the, what do I call that stuff, tulle. Because I'm going to use my tiny attacher. And so then I'm going to use my tiny attacher on my main cluster as well, just so that I've got those elements all the way across all three parts of the layout. Like I said, I've just jumped straight into my scraps box for all of this. No, I don't store them in any particular way. I just bung them in there. And I tend to, when I do go looking for something, I tend to go for colour. Every now and then I'm like, I know I've got this particular piece of pattern paper in there, but not very often. So you can see here, I'm just building that cluster. I'm building it off the page, and then I'm going to glue it on. And I have made it intentional that it hangs over the edge a little bit. And I do only glue down the parts where that pattern paper is at the bottom. I'm sorry that it is off camera. I do shift it up in just a second. I decided those square edges on that green paper was too neat and tidy, so I'm just going to rip that. Because of the mixed media on those spider webs, the edges all lift up. I really love how it looks. Muck around with my title and photo again. You can see some of that tulle at the bottom of the photo and the top. Staple all this together. I got to get it to sit just how I want it, as we do. So, obviously, October is Halloween. I have mentioned before, we are very, very lucky here in Perth. So I don't know what Halloween's going to look like this year, but I'm pretty sure we'll still be allowed to go trick-or-treating. What have you got restrictions for you for Halloween? Does it look anything like what your normal, I use that word very loosely, Halloween might look like? Do you celebrate Halloween? Do you not celebrate Halloween? So back to my layout. I just showed you that I added in some pops of purple. There was purple in the sticker sheet, and I was like, this needs something to contrast. So I went with the purple. I've added lots of stickers you can see on the right hand side of the photo, up to the top of the photo. Where else? I haven't added the hearts and stuff in yet, but yeah, there's hearts on this page as well. But I decided that the background needed a little something. So I've pulled out another Shimmers product. This one is Honey-Do List Inklings, but it matches the bucket in the photo that my little guy's holding. Matches it perfectly. I do go all the way around this big photo cluster, and then I go around the other two little clusters as well. But I don't leave it all in because it's exactly the same thing. I do a little bit of spraying. No, I do a little bit of painting and then add some water to get the colour to flow a little bit. Now, I didn't realise until it happened, but because the India ink had been left wet, it did start to leak, and you can see it on the one directly underneath the photo. So once I realised that, I kind of went, oh, I need to be a bit more careful. And I was kind of dabbing up the leaking ink as it happened as best I could. But, you know, it's a messy page. It doesn't, normally I'm really particular about my splatters not running, but this didn't bother me for some reason. I kind of thought that it worked. And even in a couple of places, the green and the orange have mixed together a little bit, but it still looks like green and orange, not mud. So I was like, yay! I'm just going around and doing that. I'm going to add some splatters in that same colour. I've added my journaling immediately below the title, and it says Halloween 2019. I was away in Queensland this year, but the boys were keen to go trick-or-treating. Funnily though, neither of you wanted to have any makeup done. You were both super keen to get those buckets filled after no trick-or-treating last year because of the wedding. So that's immediately underneath the title, and then up to the top right corner, there's another sentence. It says a skeleton and a zombie. Yes, but both still so cute. So some green splatters, and then I'm going to come in with a few more stickers. I'm not sure if I get that on camera. I think I do it all off camera because I think my phone rang or I ran out of battery or something. So just adding those splatters. Now what I've got here is a piece of craft cardstock and this Inklings in cornflower blue. I thought it would be a good match to the purple that I'm using, but it was not. So I'm showing you here, I've got the cornflower blue Inklings, and then I have matched that with mixed it with My Bleeding Heart colorings, I think that is, to get that deeper shade of purple, which is almost an exact match to the dark purple that I've got on the page. Yes, I'm putting purple on the page by choice. I mixed my own color. And something that I wanted to ask you guys about: how well do you know the color wheel? Would you feel confident mixing your own color like that? Would you like some sort of color wheel, not lessons, but basic, this is how the color wheel works from me? I went away with some girlfriends a few weeks ago, and I had someone asking me about colour, and so I did a bit of an experiment to show them how the colour wheel works. And it got me thinking, I wonder how many people do struggle with the idea of that. Leave me a comment, let me know. Make sure you head over to the Scrap the Boys blog and the Scrap the Boys Facebook page. Make sure you follow all the other girls. Some of their layouts, well, all of their layouts are amazing. I hope that you get the chance to play along with us this month, and I can't wait to see what you create. I hope that you're having a lovely 1st of October, and I will see you again in my next video soon.